Welcome, dear listener. Tonight we open the gates of Olympus, not with thunder, but with whispers drifting softly across the sky. You know Zeus as ruler of gods, the one who holds lightning in his hand and commands the heavens. But what if I told you there are stories hidden behind the storms, journeys no marble or temple has ever spoken of? These are not tales of battles, nor judgments cast from the throne. They are the secret wanderings of Zeus, far from Olympus, searching for truths that no crown could offer. He traveled to rivers of forgotten dreams, gardens where silence blooms, and mountains higher than Olympus itself. Along the way, he met guardians, mortals, and mysteries that quietly reshaped his understanding of power. And now, we will walk beside him, step by step, whisper by whisper, into the unknown. These are paths unwritten by history, yet alive in the echoes of myth that never fade. So take a breath, leave the thunder behind, and follow me into the secret journeys of Zeus, where even the mightiest must wander to find themselves. Part 1. A Whisper in the Clouds. Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine the sky above Olympus, calm and gentle, not roaring with thunder, as if the air itself is keeping a secret. For centuries, Zeus has ruled the heavens with certainty, his throne unshaken, radiant, carved in the authority of eternity. But today, something unusual stirs. Not the clash of lightning, not the voice of another god, but a whisper. A whisper so soft it might be mistaken for the wind brushing through the branches of a sacred tree. Yet Zeus hears it clearly. For a god who listens to storms, this fragile sound feels strangely powerful. It does not come from mortal prayers, nor from the golden halls of Olympus. It rises from somewhere hidden, distant, almost forgotten. Zeus leans forward, trying to catch its tone. The words are unclear, but the sound carries an invitation. It is not calling him as a king. It is calling him as a seeker. And that unsettles him. Zeus commands. He declares. He rules. But this voice bypasses thunder and touches a quieter place inside him. He pauses, while Olympus carries on. Hera remains dignified on her throne. Apollo strums a golden chord. Athena studies in silence. No one else seems to hear it. Only Zeus. And that is the first sign. This call is meant for him alone. The whisper swells again, curling like mist around mountain peaks. It offers no command, only a promise of something unknown. Zeus remembers the early days, before Olympus was secure, when he walked among mortals and listened to their raw voices. For the first time in ages, curiosity stirs within him. The whisper fades, but its echo lingers, tugging gently at his heart. It urges him to rise from his throne and follow a hidden path. He does not summon counsel or announce decree. Instead, he simply stands and steps away quietly. Clouds drift beneath his feet as he moves into the open sky. The whisper pulls him eastward, or perhaps beyond direction itself. It does not speak in maps. It speaks in feelings. The higher he climbs, the softer the world becomes. Thunder retreats. The wind settles. And the whisper grows clearer, more like music than words. Zeus listens and realizes this truth. He is not in control of this journey. The voice leads. He must follow. For once, the king of gods walks a path not of his choosing but of his discovering. The clouds part. The horizon stretches wide and endless before him. And within that silence, Zeus feels anticipation, the kind mortals know when they face the unknown. It is humbling. It is thrilling. And so begins his secret journey, not with thunder or fire, but with a whisper in the clouds. Part 2. The Hidden River. The whisper carried Zeus farther than he expected. Days in mortal time might have passed, though for a god time was not a clock, but the pulse of the world beneath the sky. He followed it across horizons, through shifting skies, until he sensed the destination drawing near. It was not a mountain, not a palace, not a place carved with the names of gods. It was a river, but not like any river Zeus had ever known. Its waters did not glisten with sunlight, but shimmered with memories flowing endlessly. Each ripple carried the faint glow of something once dreamt, then forgotten. When Zeus stepped close, The air hushed, as though the river itself demanded silence. He gazed at the current and realized it was not water, but threads of human dreams. Visions released in sleep, vanishing at dawn, now lived on here together. A child's wish to fly. A poot's forgotten song. A traveler's hope never spoken aloud. All of it moved in the river, mingling, fading, returning like echoes. Zeus felt warmth rise in his chest as he watched. He had heard countless prayers shouted to the sky, but this was different. Prayers asked, bargained, pleaded, dreams asked for nothing. They simply existed, fragile yet persistent. He cupped his hand, letting the river glide across his palm. It did not wet his skin, but filled his mind with visions. A woman painting stars on her ceiling. A young boy chasing the wind with laughter. A weary farmer imagining endless golden fields. Zeus inhaled sharply, shaken by the quiet beauty. This was life beneath his thunder, the unseen hum of humanity. For a moment, he forgot his throne, his crown, even himself. The river whispered that power lived not only in storms, but in the persistence of dreaming. As he watched, the current shimmered and shaped a figure. Not mortal, not divine, but something born from the river itself. The keeper of dreams. Their form was woven from light and shadow, a living reflection of memory. The keeper spoke softly. Few find this place, even gods. Do you know why you are here? Zeus hesitated, he who usually answered in thunder. I was called, he admitted at last. The keeper nodded gently. Yes, not commanded, but called by longing. The river remembers what mortals forget, and sometimes what gods forget. Zeus lowered his gaze to the shimmering current. These dreams are not yours to take, the keeper said. They are yours to witness, to remember that even the smallest soul shapes the world. Zeus stood silent, listening to the murmur of the flowing visions. Each wave carried a story too delicate to speak aloud. In that stillness, he felt humility, something rare to him. The keeper smiled faintly. When you return to Olympus, do not forget. True strength is not in ruling, but in honoring what mortals carry inside. Zeus bowed his head slightly, a gesture few had ever seen. The whisper that had led him here softened and disappeared. Its task was complete. Zeus turned back to the river, letting its glow reflect in his eyes. Then he stepped onward, light as air. The river remained, eternal and unseen, carrying dreams in its quiet, endless song. And Zeus carried its memory into the next stage of his journey. The river faded behind Zeus, yet its memory lingered like a quiet song resting in his chest. He walked onward, the whisper gone, replaced by something else, an echo, soft but insistent. At first it was faint, like a distant voice carried across valleys or words remembered from long ago. But slowly, the echo grew clearer, threading through the silence like a hidden guide. It did not come from the sky above, nor from the earth below, but from the air itself. The sound vibrated gently, drawing him forward with a rhythm too subtle to resist. Zeus followed the pull, curious and silent. The path narrowed, framed by cliffs towering high, older than time itself. Their stone faces bore cracks of age, yet each one seemed alive with memory and resonance. The echoes grew louder, repeating not thunder or prayers, but the unspoken voices of mortals. A child's laugh danced across the cliffs before fading into silence. A woman's half-sung song rose briefly, then vanished like mist. A man's prayer for courage trembled softly, dissolving into stillness. Zeus stopped to listen, hearing countless fragile voices suspended in the air. He placed his hand upon the stone wall, and it hummed gently with remembered sound. From the shadows, a figure appeared, woven of shifting tones and living resonance. Neither mortal nor god, they were shaped of sound itself, the keeper of echoes. Their voice was layered, many tones blending like a chorus speaking as one. "Welcome, Zeus," the keeper said, words forming more from memory than breath. The king of gods inclined his head with quiet respect. "You know me already," he said, his voice low. "All who echo are known here," the keeper replied without hesitation. Zeus frowned slightly, his gaze steady. "What is this place?" The keeper lifted their hands. and the cliffs rang with 1,000 voices at once. "This is where sound never dies," they said, their form glowing faintly. Every laugh, every song, every whisper unspoken, they live here, remembered as echoes. Zeus closed his eyes, letting the chorus of voices flow through him like a tide. A child's voice declared with wonder, "I will touch the stars one day." Another voice came, a poet whispering lines he never dared to write. Then, a weary sigh, relief after a journey long and hard, echoed softly. Zeus opened his eyes slowly, his heart stirred by these fragile sounds. "These voices are so small," he murmured, though not with dismissal. The keepers stepped closer, their shifting form alight with resonance. Small? Perhaps. But thunder itself is only the echo of lightning's strike. What is memory but the echo of life itself? They asked. Even gods are echoes of eternity, carried forward through time. The words struck Zeus, humbling him with their quiet truth. He realized how often he had listened only to power, to prayers, to demands. Yet here were the softer voices, unseen, unheard, still alive in echoes. The keeper spoke gently, their chorus weaving through the air. Echoes are truths too fragile for time. Without a listener, they vanish. But here, they remain, and now you have heard them, Zeus. The god brushed the stone once more, feeling vibrations like countless heartbeats. "What should I do with this?" he asked, voice quiet, almost human. The keeper smiled, their voice mingling with 1,000 echoes at once. "Do nothing. Only remember, the world is not built on thunder alone. It rests on every voice, however small, that dares to exist." Zeus lowered his head, not in obedience, but in acknowledgement of truth. Around him, the echoes swirled, creating a chorus of forgotten words. For the first time, Zeus felt the power of listening without speaking. He turned to leave, the cliffs alive with the hum of endless memory. The keeper's voice followed him gently, resonating like a final gift. "Carry the echoes with you, Zeus, for in silence, whispers keep the world alive." Zeus stepped forward, carrying countless voices deep within his heart. And so, his journey continued, guided not by thunder, but by the echoes of eternity. The echoes faded, but their resonance lingered in Zeus's chest like a quiet heartbeat. He walked onward, following no path, guided only by something unseen, something waiting. The cliffs opened into a vast plain, where the air felt heavy with stillness. At its center lay a garden unlike any he had ever known. No breeze stirred the branches. No birds sang among the trees. The trees shimmered faintly, as if carved from glass, their trunks pale and glowing. Their blossoms gave no scent, only a quiet light, soft as distant stars. At first glance, it seemed beautiful, but soon Zeus noticed the silence. No wind, no footsteps, no sound at all, only pure, unbroken stillness. He paused, feeling silence press against his heart like invisible weight. All his life, thunder and prayer had filled the air around him. Here, every sound was gone, replaced by presence deeper than words. He stepped into the garden, each movement swallowed instantly by silence. The trees glowed faintly, as though they drank quiet instead of sunlight. He touched a branch, cool and smooth, and silence flowed into him. It was not hollow, not empty. It was silence filled with presence, the kind that waits, that watches, that holds more than words. His breath fell away into the still air, vanishing without trace. Then, from between the trees, a figure appeared, tall and graceful, cloaked in pale light. Their steps made no sound. Their eyes reflected the same stillness that filled the garden itself. Zeus inclined his head, sensing who they were before they spoke. "You are the keeper of silence," he said softly. The figure nodded, voice calm. "Yes, and here your thunder cannot follow." Zeus looked around at the blossoms glowing faintly on silent branches. "What is this place?" he asked, though his voice felt out of place. "This is the Garden of Silence," the keeper replied gently. "Here lives the pause between heartbeats, the breath between words. It is the stillness that allows sound itself to exist." Zeus frowned, remembering the echoes he had heard before. I heard voices, he said. But here, there is nothing. The keeper stepped closer, their presence flowing like still water. You are wrong, Zeus. Silence is not nothing. It is the cradle of all things. Zeus closed his eyes, listening deeper into the quiet around him. At first, he heard nothing, only emptiness. But slowly, he felt the truth. The silence was full of waiting, full of presence, full of possibility. It was the hush before thunder, the stillness that makes music possible. Zeus opened his eyes, humbled by the weight of it. The keeper's gaze was steady. You have ruled with sound, they said, with thunder and command. But what of your silence, Zeus? Do you know what it offers? The words cut deep, stirring thoughts he had never faced. Silence was not weakness, it was space. Space for others to exist, to be heard, to be understood. He bowed his head slightly, humbled. Even thunder means nothing without the silence before and after, he whispered. The keeper inclined their head. Remember this. The mightiest voice is heard only because silence allows it. To rule with sound alone is to forget half of creation. Zeus touched the glowing trunk of a tree, feeling balance flow into him. The silence steadied him, grounding him, without need for command. For the first time in eternity, he felt no urge to speak, no urge to command, no urge to fill the air with power. He simply was. The keeper stepped back, fading into the trees of glass and light. Carry silence with you, Zeus, as you carry thunder, they said. One without the other cannot endure. Zeus bowed in acknowledgement, his heart quiet and steady. With slow steps, he left the garden, blossoms glowing brighter behind him. Though the silence faded as he walked away, it remained within him. It would remind him always that even thunder needs stillness to be whole. And so his journey continued, carrying both echoes and silence within. Zeus left the garden of silence with a heart steadied by calm. Ahead, a new path rose, leading to a mountain he had never seen before. He always thought Olympus was the crown of the world, but beyond the horizon stood another peak. Older, lonelier, greater. It had no name, no temples, no offerings from mortals. Its slopes glowed softly, as if touched by an eternal dawn. Zeus felt drawn to it, as though something waited for him there. So he began to climb. This was no Olympus with marble steps and golden halls. The mountain was wild, rough, unmarked by worship or song. No gods followed. No hymns were sung in the air. Only the whisper of wind kept him company. The higher he climbed, the thinner the air became. Yet the mountain gave him strength with every step. It felt alive, guiding him not just upward, but inward. He passed ancient trees twisted with age, gripping stone with roots. Rivers of cloud drifted through valleys, glowing silver in silence. Everywhere he looked, beauty existed without witness, grandeur without praise. And Zeus felt humbled by it. For all his power, this place asked nothing, offered only itself. At last he reached a wide plateau halfway to the summit. A smooth stone awaited him, like a seat carved by time. Zeus sat, breathing deeply, gazing at the endless sky below. For the first time, he felt small, as mortals must feel. And in that smallness, there was wonder. From the stillness came a voice, deep and resonant. It was not thunder, not echo, not silence. It was the mountain itself speaking. "Welcome, Zeus," it said, like shifting stone beneath the earth. "You have climbed Olympus, yet you seek me. Why?" Zeus bowed his head, answering with honesty. "I seek what lies beyond power and rule. I seek the hidden." The mountain rumbled softly, like the rolling of deep earth. "I am not Olympus. I am not worshipped. I am unseen. I stand here untouched, for I am not meant to be possessed." Zeus felt the words press heavy upon him. "You rule Olympus," the mountain said, "but Olympus is for gods. This mountain is for no one." The thought unsettled Zeus more than he expected. All mountains he knew bore temples and crowns of prayer. Yet this summit, greater than Olympus, remained unclaimed. "What is your purpose, then?" he asked quietly. The mountain's voice rolled like timeless stone. "My purpose is to be, to stand, to endure. I am not here to be conquered. I serve no one. I am the reminder that not everything belongs to gods. Zeus was silent, humbled by such simple truth. He gazed out over the horizon, clouds glowing below like oceans, and for once, he did not feel the need to hold the sky. It held itself without him. The mountain's voice softened, like wind through deep caverns. Olympus rises because of you, but I stand without you. Not all heights exist to be ruled. Some heights remind rulers. They are not all. Zeus placed his hand upon the stone beneath him. It pulsed with an age older than thunder, older than gods. And he knew the mountain spoke truth. Not everything can be claimed. Not everything should be. Some things simply are. He rose, carrying both weight and lightness in his heart. He bowed to the summit, not in defeat, but in respect. Then he turned, ready to descend, lesson in hand. The mountain's voice lingered, whispering as he walked away. Even the king of gods must bow to what cannot be owned. Zeus left the mountain and entered a valley where night lingered. The sun still shone beyond, yet here the air shimmered like water. Every sound echoed as though caught between silence and song. In this valley, he saw a bridge spanning a wide chasm. It was not stone or wood, but woven light, threads of silver mist. The bridge bent and shifted gently, as though breathing with life. No mortal eye could see it, for it appeared only to wanderers. Zeus approached slowly, wonder in his gaze, caution in his steps. He touched the bridge, and it pulsed like a heart beneath his hand. Then he knew this was no ordinary crossing of land. It was the bridge of dreams, linking gods to hidden realms. He stepped forward, and visions rose with each careful stride. Dreams drifted like clouds, hopes of mortals, songs unsung, journeys unbegun. Each touched him briefly, then dissolved into the shimmering air. Zeus felt their weight, fragile yet powerful, shaping lives unseen. At the midpoint, light gathered and formed a figure before him. She was neither goddess nor mortal, but something between both. Her eyes glowed like twilight. Her hair flowed like drifting smoke. "I am Onira," she said, her voice soft as lullabies. "Guardian of this bridge, keeper of dreams, guide for travelers." Zeus inclined his head with respect for her presence. "Why guard this path?" he asked in a low voice. "One cannot walk from waking to dreaming unguided," she replied. "Dreams are rivers without banks. Even gods could be lost here." Zeus listened intently, stirred by her calm wisdom. He ruled skies and storms, yet never thought dreams had power. "What do dreams mean to mortals?" he asked, curious. Onira smiled gently. "With knowledge, deep as the valley's quiet. Dreams are seeds," she said. "They show what might yet grow. They reveal not what mortals are, but what they may become." Zeus pondered her words as visions shifted all around him. He saw farmers dreaming of rain, sailors of stars, children of wings. None of these were real, yet each gave strength and direction. He whispered, "Dreams shape the lives of mortals." "Yes," she answered. "And gods are not free from them either." Zeus lifted his head, startled by her quiet certainty. "Gods do not dream," he declared firmly, almost defensively. But Onera's eyes held a truth that silenced his denial. "Do you not dream of peace, of more than thunder and rule?" Her words pierced deep, awakening something unspoken within him. Perhaps he had dreamed, though he never called it by name. Dreams of journeys beyond Olympus, of truths greater than command. Onera stepped aside, granting him passage across the bridge. "Go, Zeus. Walk forward. But remember what you have seen here. Power rules the day, but dreams quietly guide the night." Zeus moved onward, the bridge glowing brightly beneath his stride. Each step felt lighter, as though he walked upon pure hope. At last he reached the far side and turned to look back. The bridge shimmered once more, then faded into quiet air. Only the valley remained, still, silent, and half-shadowed. But within him, the lesson of dreams remained alive. He had learned that even gods must listen to whispers of possibility. Without dreams, even eternity can feel hollow and empty. With dreams, Even the smallest life touches something infinite. After crossing the bridge of dreams, Zeus reached the edge of the sea. The waters stretched endlessly, calm as glass, reflecting both sky and memory. A gentle breeze carried the scent of salt and something timeless. On the horizon, a small island shimmered under soft light. It was quiet, covered in silver sands and ancient trees. No mortal spoke of it, yet Zeus knew it called to him. He stepped onto the water, and it carried him across. The island greeted him with silence so deep it felt sacred. Birds flew soundlessly above, as if sound itself stayed behind. Along the shore, Zeus saw carvings upon the sand. They were not symbols, but names, written by tide and wind. Some names he recognized. Others stirred faint echoes in him. He followed the shore to a stone at the island's heart. Countless names were carved upon it, fading and returning. A figure appeared, robed in ash gray, with gentle eyes. "I am Neem," she said, "keeper of what is forgotten." Zeus bowed, feeling the weight of her presence. "Why gather these names?" he asked softly. "Every name holds a life," Nema replied with calm grace. "When names are lost, lives drift untethered, waiting remembrance." Zeus touched the stone, tracing a fading groove tenderly. "What happens to them?" he asked, his voice hushed. "They're not gone," Meneem said, "but they wait unseen. They live in whispers, in shadows, in fragile dreams." Zeus thought of mortals calling his name in prayer. How strong a name could be, shaping faith and destiny. Meneem's gaze deepened, her voice steady but kind. "Even gods may be forgotten, their names fading in silence." Zeus felt the truth strike him, quiet yet profound. He asked, "Can the forgotten ever return to memory?" Neem smiled faintly, her eyes warm with secret knowing. "Sometimes. A song, a tale, a whisper on the wind. But most remain here, not in sorrow, but peace." Zeus listened, stirred by sorrow, yet comforted by peace. To be forgotten was not an end, but a return to silence, to the stillness of beginnings. He whispered to the stone, "May you all be remembered." The breeze carried his words like a prayer through the island. Meneem nodded gently, her presence both solemn and tender. "Even a whisper can honor a life," she said softly. "Even silence itself can carry memory beyond time." Zeus stepped back, bowing in reverence to her wisdom. He knew then that names were more than mere sounds. They were anchors to existence, lights against forgetting. Perhaps his own name would rest here one day. But the thought brought peace, not fear or sorrow. For living, touching others, was meaning enough. Zeus left the island quietly, the waves parting gently. The names upon the sand shimmered, then faded away. He carried with him the lesson of the island. That memory is fragile, yet sacred beyond all measure. And even the forgotten still carry meaning beyond time. After leaving the island of forgotten names, Zeus journeyed inland. The path wound through valleys where rivers sang softly to the stones. Birds circled above, guiding him toward a towering mountain. Its peak was hidden in clouds, its base wrapped in endless shadows. Zeus felt a quiet pull, as if the mountain itself called to him. Unlike other places, no guardian stood waiting at its foot. No signs, no voices, only silence filled the air. He began to climb, each step light but steady. The air thinned, carrying both chill and clarity. The higher he went, the stranger the mountain became. Paths curved where they should have ended, twisting in mystery. Cliffs opened into vast halls, lit by no flame. Deep inside, the mountain grew brighter instead of darker. At last, Zeus reached a cavern as vast as the sky. Its ceiling glittered with stars, though night had not fallen. Clouds drifted, glowing faintly with hidden light. The mountain held its own sky, folded within stone. In that sky stood a figure cloaked in silver mist. Her eyes shone like dawn breaking softly over the horizon. "I am Athera," she said, "keeper of skies unseen." Zeus bowed slightly, sensing the weight of her presence. "Why does a mountain hold the sky?" he asked. "Every height hides a depth," Athera replied gently. "Within stone lies breath, within silence lies song." Within heaviness itself, there is hidden light. Her words drifted like poetry carried by air. Zeus gazed upward at the stars shining softly. Each shimmered not with fire, but with forgotten dreams. "These are not stars," Aethra explained with calm grace. "They are wishes once cast, and now forgotten." Zeus reached out, and one glimmer floated close. It was small, fragile, like a spark born from hope. "Do they return to the dreamer?" Zeus asked. "Sometimes," Aethra said, "when the heart remembers its wish." "And if never remembered?" Zeus pressed curiously. "Then they rest here until eternity has no need for wishes." Her voice held balance, neither sorrow nor joy. Zeus thought of mortals praying with voices lifted high. Some prayers he had answered, others left adrift. But here, even forgotten hopes found a home. "Do gods carry wishes too?" he asked softly. "Yes," she replied, her eyes gleaming with truth. "Even gods hold desires too quiet for temples." Zeus felt his own heart stir with unspoken longing. Not for power, he already held the skies. Not for fear, he had faced storms greater than himself. Perhaps it was for stillness, for peace, for silence. The thought lingered, gentle yet steady within him. Aethra placed her hand lightly over his. "Every wish is part of the breath of the world. They are not weakness, but seeds of meaning." Zeus closed his eyes, holding the spark in silence. He let it rise back into the cavern sky. It joined countless others, stars born of forgotten dreams. He bowed, gratitude softening the power in his gaze. The mountain did not tremble. Thunder did not roll. It simply breathed, vast and quiet, holding the hidden sky. Zeus turned to leave, carrying the lesson with him. That wishes, answered or lost, were never wasted. They shaped the hidden skies within all beings. Perhaps even the king of the gods was shaped by his own. Stepping back into daylight, the mountain seemed unchanged. Yet its secret now lived within him forever. Beyond the mountain that carried its own sky, Zeus descended into a lush valley. The air was rich with the scent of wild blossoms, blending with the hum of insects and the whisper of the breeze. In the heart of the valley, a river wound its way, broad and calm, shining like liquid silver under the light. Its waters reflected not only the sky, but something deeper, as though they held the secrets of time itself. Zeus stepped closer, sensing this was no ordinary river. It felt alive, as if it had been waiting for him. He touched the surface, and ripples spread outward, showing flickers of images from long ago. Not just his reflection, but moments of mortals, gods, and even his own younger self appeared in the stream. The river remembered. He saw a child laughing near the shore, a mother lifting her little one, a mortal offering prayers to the sky. All these memories flowed together, endless threads in a vast and shimmering tapestry. From the glowing surface, a voice rose, soft yet resonant. "I am Mnemosyne," it said, "the river of remembrance, the keeper of all that has been." Zeus knew her name, the mother of the muses, the goddess of memory itself. "Why do you show me these moments?" he asked. "Because all that is remembered lives again," Mnemosyne replied, her words flowing like the current. "Even the smallest act or fleeting word finds its place in the river's eternal stream." Zeus gazed deeper into the water, seeing countless lives flicker in and out like distant stars. Some moments shone with joy, others trembled with sorrow, but all were held with equal reverence. He asked, "Do mortals know their deeds remain here?" "Not always," she answered. "But every act ripples forward, touching far more than they can ever see." Her words sank into him, heavy with truth. Though he was a god, his choices too sent echoes beyond Olympus, carried here by the flow. He thought of storms he had unleashed, of blessings given, of silences that had changed fates. All of it was here, recorded by the river that remembers. Zeus knelt at the bank, his hand resting gently upon the silver surface. "What of those who regret?" he asked softly. "Can memories be undone?" The river shimmered, and Mnemosyne's voice replied with calm certainty. "They cannot be erased, but they can be transformed. Regret becomes wisdom. Sorrow becomes a guide. A mistake acknowledged becomes a teacher, not a wound." Zeus closed his eyes, letting her words echo within. He recalled moments of pride when thunder had struck too swiftly, and moments of mercy when patience prevailed. Both lived here, side by side, forming the whole of his story. He realized memory was not a burden to fear, but a current to follow and to learn from. It did not trap it carried forward. It did not bind it, shape the future. Mnemosyne's voice rose again, like a song woven into the stream. Even gods are shaped by memory. You are not only storms and thunder, but also the lessons you choose to keep. Zeus opened his eyes, and the river stilled, showing him clearly. In its surface, he saw himself not as king of Olympus, but as a traveler through time's hidden waters. He dipped his hand once more, not to change the current, but simply to feel it flow. The river moved past, carrying memory onward into eternity. Zeus rose, bowing his head in quiet gratitude. "Thank you," he whispered, "for keeping what must be remembered." With that, he turned, leaving the river to its endless song. As he walked away, the sound of flowing water followed, not as a weight, but as a companion, a reminder that memory, like the river, was endless, alive, and always moving forward. And so he carried its lesson. Remembrance is not chains of the past, but a current guiding the future. Beyond the valley of remembrance, Zeus walked toward the sea. The horizon shimmered blue, stretching endlessly like a soft curtain of light. There, floating on the water, was an island veiled in mist. It drifted between presence and absence, never fully near, never far. Zeus stepped across the waves, carried by the rhythm of the sea. When he arrived, the mist parted, showing cliffs carved by time. The air was alive, with whispers, rising and fading like tides. He paused, listening closely to the strange chorus around him. The voices were not strangers, but familiar, echoes from long ago. Some were his own, spoken in moments of joy or command. Others belonged to gods, mortals, friends, and even rivals. The island remembered every word, repeating them like an eternal song. As Zeus moved deeper, the voices grew richer and louder. The cliffs seemed to breathe, carrying sound through hollow stone. In the island's heart, a figure formed from pure resonance. Her shape rippled like sound waves, her voice clear and bright. "I am Ikoya," she said, "guardian of every spoken word." Zeus inclined his head, sensing the weight of her role. "You keep them all?" he asked with curiosity and awe. "Every word," Ikoya answered, her tone soft yet unwavering. Whispered secrets, forgotten cries, and songs lost to time. Zeus listened, and the island began to speak to him. He heard laughter of children carried by winds over hills. He heard promises spoken in temples and vows made in silence. He even heard the thunder of storms and rain's gentle call. "All of this lives here," Ikoya said with serene certainty. "Words never vanish. They travel, they change, and they return." Zeus considered her words, letting them sink deep inside. Mortals believed words vanished quickly, fading into the wind. But here was proof that each voice carried weight forever. "Do words shape the world?" Zeus asked with steady tone. "They do," she replied. "A kind word plants peace in hearts. A harsh word can stir storms that outlast generations. Even silence speaks, carrying echoes that shape unseen lives." Her voice was steady, resonant with the truth of ages. Zeus closed his eyes, listening not as god, but as traveler. He remembered words of hope he had once spoken to mortals, and careless words that had sown fear or sorrow in others. "All of it lived here," repeated gently, without judgment or blame. Ikoya stepped closer, her form shimmering with countless tones. "Even gods must listen to their echoes," she said softly. "Not to be bound, but to know their power and reach." Zeus breathed deeply, the island's chorus wrapping around him. He realized thunder itself was an echo of the longing sky. Even storms carried meaning, not just force or display. "And what of words unspoken?" Zeus asked quietly at last. Ikoya's form quivered like a cord suspended in the air. "They too live, though softly. The heart speaks, and I hear." Zeus understood then that silence was not emptiness at all. Silence was also a voice, waiting to be understood. The island offered no judgment, only a mirror of sound. Every voice mattered, Every silence held a shape of meaning. "What lesson should I carry?" Zeus asked before leaving. Her voice rang bright as crystal across the veiled horizon. "Speak with care. Speak with truth. For words live forever." Zeus bowed his head, carrying the wisdom like a flame. The mist closed gently around him as he departed. The island of echoes faded, yet its voices remained. They followed him like companions, reminders carved in sound. And so he journeyed on, knowing storms were not his only legacy. Every word spoken was a power of its own. Zeus left the island of echoes and walked across endless meadows. The horizon stretched wide, carrying both warmth and chill in the air. He soon entered a place unlike any other he had known. It was a vast garden where time itself seemed to bend. Spring blossoms opened beside autumn leaves on the same branches. Snowflakes drifted softly onto trees heavy with summer fruit. All 4 seasons existed together, woven in quiet harmony. Zeus stopped, marveling at the strangeness and beauty before him. The air carried the scent of rain, harvest, and blossoms at once. Every step forward shifted him through another scene of the year. One moment he brushed petals of spring's tender bloom. The next, his hand touched frost as fine as crystal lace. At the garden's heart stood a great shimmering tree of light. Its branches bore fruits of every season, glowing in gold. Beneath it waited a woman robed in ever-changing colors. Her hair flowed silver, yet glowed with warmth like fire. Her eyes carried the calm of dawns and dusks eternal. "I am Aeona," she said, "guardian of the timeless seasons." Zeus inclined his head, recognizing her wisdom beyond measure. "This garden holds all seasons together," he whispered in awe. "Yes," Aeona replied. "Here time is not divided but whole. Each season is a chapter, yet all belong to one story." Zeus stepped closer, feeling the truth surround him like air. He saw children laughing in spring fields, lovers in autumn light. He saw farmers planting with hope and harvesting with joy. He saw winter nights where families gathered around the fire. All seasons lived here, untouched by time's restless rush. "Do mortals know this truth?" Zeus asked quietly. "Some feel it," Aeona said. "When they pause and cherish, many chase seasons away, longing for the next, forgetting now. But each season gives its gift, shaping the soul in silence." Her voice carried the rhythm of eternal cycles unbroken. Zeus thought of Olympus, gods restless with endless desire. He thought of mortals, yearning for youth or craving age. Even he had forgotten the blessing of each fleeting season. Aeona plucked a glowing fruit, touched with spring's soft light. She placed it in his hand, warm and fragrant with life. "This is renewal," she said. "The courage to begin again." Next, she gave him a fruit golden, with the fire of summer. "This is fullness," she continued, "the joy of being alive." Then came a fruit red and brown, with autumn's tender hue. "This is reflection," she said, "the wisdom of letting go." Finally, she offered him a fruit pale as silver frost. "This is rest," she whispered, "the peace found in stillness." Zeus held all 4 fruits, their lights blending in his hands. He understood they were not separate, but one eternal whole. The cycle was endless, each part flowing into the next. There was no true end, only gentle transformation. Aeona's eyes glowed with timeless calm as she smiled. "Even gods live within the rhythm of seasons," she said. "Storms may come, but they always pass into light. Blossoms fade, yet they return with new life each spring. Nothing is lost. All flows forward, always becoming." Her words settled deep within Zeus, like roots in earth. He thought of his journey, not a line but a circle. Each step, each meeting, had been a season of its own. Even the king of gods was still learning to flow with time. He bowed with gratitude shining bright in his gaze. "Thank you," he said, "for showing me wholeness in time." Aeona placed her hand gently over his with kindness. "Go with balance," she whispered, "for balance is harmony." Zeus turned and left the garden of timeless seasons, but its truth walked with him, steady as breath. Every leaf, blossom, and snowflake was now part of him, and he carried the wisdom of eternal seasons forward. Zeus left the timeless garden and wandered through misty valleys. The path led him to a river shining like a polished mirror. Its water was still, reflecting trees, sky, and even himself. The reflection looked sharper, brighter, more alive than reality. Kneeling, Zeus peered deeper into the strange, flowing surface. There he saw himself as a hidden child. Long ago, he saw the young god rising with thunder and triumph. He saw the ruler on Olympus crowned in lightning. The river shifted, showing laughter, solitude, pride, and folly. Every ripple carried a memory long buried but unforgotten. A voice rose from the current, soft yet powerful. "This is the river of reflections," the voice declared. "Here nothing is hidden. Here truth flows without end." Zeus stared, his heart stirred by the vision before him. "Why show me this?" he asked with solemn wonder. "Because journeys are not only outward," said the voice. "They are inward. To walk far you must look within." The words pressed upon him with gentle but lasting weight. He touched the water, but felt warmth instead of cold. The images shifted, showing futures yet to unfold. One showed him ruling harsher, storms without mercy. Another showed him yielding, letting new gods rise. One showed endless wandering, restless, searching without end. Another showed peace, quiet, and content in stillness. The river revealed not prophecy, but possibility. "Choice," the voice said, "is the current beneath all." Zeus rose, his reflection standing tall before him. He met his own gaze, steady, unflinching, and clear. He saw storms endured and the calm he desired. "To know the world, I must know myself," he said. The river glowed bright, as if in agreement. Its current stirred, carrying his image into light. Zeus lingered, no longer ashamed or divided. He felt whole, every piece part of one story. As he turned to leave, the voice spoke again. "To rule is not only to command," it said. "It is to know yourself and find balance within." Zeus bowed his head, gratitude shining in silence. He left the river, calm, steady in his steps, but its wisdom traveled with him, like a heartbeat. Each choice ahead carried the river's echo of truth. Even the greatest of gods was still a traveler within. Zeus crossed a sea as calm as polished glass. Above him, the night sky spread wide, heavy with stars. The constellations seemed closer, leaning down to listen. From the horizon, an island glowed with silver light. He stepped onto the shore, air humming with whispers. At first, he thought it was only the wind, but the hum grew into voices, soft and countless. The stars themselves were speaking, weaving ancient songs. He sat upon a stone, eyes fixed on the sky. Whispers grew clearer, telling of travelers and dreamers. Some sang of joy, of journeys fulfilled and cherished. Others spoke of longing, of wishes left undone. Zeus realized each star was more than light above. Each was memory, voice, story, soul, once alive. Then a figure of starlight appeared at his side. "I am Nythia," she said, glowing with gentle grace. "Here, every gaze leaves a trace within the heavens. Their hopes, their fears, their dreams live on as whispers." "So the stars remember what mortals forget?" he asked. "Yes," she answered. "They remember without end or judgment." Zeus listened as countless voices wrapped around his soul. He heard laughter of a child dreaming of flight. He heard the steady heart of a sailor at sea. He heard the sigh of an elder at peace. The sky was no longer cold, but alive with memory. "Do gods leave whispers too?" he asked with wonder. "Even gods leave traces," Nythia replied, eyes shimmering bright. Thunder, storm, silence, all become part of the song. Humbled, Zeus bowed his head in quiet thought. Nythia opened her palm, revealing a small glowing star. "Take this," she said. "It is not power but remembrance. It will remind you that voices never fade away." Zeus held it, warmth sinking into his hand and heart. He looked at the sky alive with whispers eternal. No longer distant, the stars were companions in his journey. "Thank you," he said to Nythia and to the stars. Dawn rose, and the voices faded into gentle silence. The sea stilled, but Zeus carried the chorus within. Leaving the island, he knew a truth eternal. The universe was always speaking, softly, through the stars. There are rivers that shape valleys, rivers that feed cities, and rivers that carve mountains. But among them all flows one unseen, the river of time. Zeus had heard whispers of it since his earliest days. A current not of water, but of moments. Every instant, past, present, and future, drifted within its endless stream. Drawn by a pull he could not resist, Zeus sought its hidden banks. Through forests where leaves shimmered like ticking clocks, he walked. Across deserts where sands shifted into fleeting images of memory. At last, he found a valley veiled in silver mist. At its center lay the river of time. It shimmered not with water but with pure light. A current bending like liquid crystal, alive with echoes. Looking into its surface was like gazing into endless mirrors. Each reflection showed not just his face, but fragments of eternity. There he saw himself as a child, beneath Mount Ida's shadow. He saw himself as ruler of Olympus, thunder in hand. And he saw himself aged, quiet, watching the world in silence. The current carried more than his story alone. He glimpsed the first spark of fire in mortal hands. He saw cities rising, stones kissed by sun and rain. He saw strangers, yet unborn, dreaming beneath stars, not yet risen. A voice rose from the current, layered and endless. Every drop is a moment, the voices sang. Every ripple is a choice. Every wave, a destiny. Zeus touched the flow, and visions surged at his hand. A mother's laughter echoing through centuries. A child's first steps on earth that would someday vanish. The trembling hands of an artist painting beyond their time. The river wove past and future into one. Zeus understood no moment truly past. They moved downstream, forever alive within the current. Then shadows rippled across its glow, choices twisted into sorrow, dreams ending too soon. Zeus felt regret, not only his, but all of existence. Yet woven among the dark was light healing and renewal. From the mist emerged a silver-cloaked figure. Her eyes held seasons shifting, her voice calm as water. "I am Cronea," she said, guardian of the current. "Gods may glimpse, but none may command it. Time is not thunder to wield, nor sky to rule. It is a gift belonging to all, equal and impartial." Her words struck Zeus with quiet force. His journeys had led him here not to claim, but to learn. Zeus bowed, humility softening his once proud spirit. "What then is my place?" he asked. Cronea smiled, her reflection rippling across centuries. "Your place is to remember," she said gently. "To carry wisdom that moments are fragile, yet eternal. To teach that time is not to be feared, but cherished." The river shimmered, listening with a softer glow. Zeus stood humbled, smaller than he had felt in ages. But in that smallness, he found peace. As he turned, Cronea called again. "Take this," she said, offering a single glowing drop. It pulsed with countless lives, floating like a star. "This will remind you that every instant matters. Even gods must not forget the gift of a single breath." Zeus held it close to his heart. He stepped away, feeling time flow around him, gentle, infinite. Each step now more than motion, but a moment. Each breath, a story. And in silence, he carried on, knowing the river of time would always whisper, even when the world chose not to listen. The sky above Olympus shimmered with gold and fire. Clouds drifted apart, revealing the mountain tall and eternal. Yet to Zeus, it felt changed, as though breathing anew. He had crossed seas of silence and gardens of hidden truth. He had touched the current of time, carrying humility within him. Each journey carved wisdom deeper than thunder ever could. When he returned, the gods gathered to meet him. Hera's eyes searched, sharp yet curious for what he had become. Athena, wise and patient, stood silent, waiting for his words. Apollo's light gleamed with expectation. Hermes restless for stories. But Zeus did not thunder, nor command as before. He stood calm, silence flowing louder than any storm. The gods felt something strange. From him peace. "My journeys have shown me truths beyond Olympus," he said. "I heard whispers of stars, walked within living dreams. I touched the current of time, and saw eternity flow." The hall grew still. Even Ares leaned forward to listen. "Power is not the crown of Olympus," Zeus declared. "Wisdom is. And wisdom comes from listening, not ruling. Listening to the universe, to mortals, and to each other. The gods exchanged glances, uncertain yet moved by his tone. Hestia stepped forward, warmth glowing in her voice. "Then what becomes of us, brother? What of Olympus?" Zeus smiled, not with pride, but with true gentleness. "Olympus remains the heart of the heavens," he replied. "But it must not be a throne above the world. It must be a bridge, where eternal meets fleeting, where gods and mortals share the same song." Athena's eyes softened, wisdom recognizing wisdom. Hermes grinned, sensing adventure in his words. "Hera, quiet. Let the smallest smile escape her lips." For the first time in ages, Olympus felt whole. That night, Zeus walked the terrace of the great mountain. The stars stretched brighter, as if listening to his heart. In his hand glowed the drop of time, steady and warm. Zeus whispered softly, "I will remember." No longer master above all, he was guardian and listener. His journey found its purpose, not in power, but in peace. The wind carried songs and laughter from the world below. Zeus let them reach him. No longer noise, but music. No longer fleeting, but eternal in their whispers. The secret journeys of Zeus came full circle here. They ended not in conquest, but in understanding. And through that understanding, Olympus was forever changed.